What are twin flames and soulmates, and how do they interact with each other? We're going to go to soulmates in a moment, so I can explain it. Because there is such a thing as a soulmate, but I will explain in a minute that it's not exactly the way we think it is. Now, what are twin flames? Personally, I have never seen such a thing as a twin flame. And about 30% of the work I do with clients is focused on relationships. Twin flame. The theory of the twin flame is perpetuated by people that have an extremely low self-esteem. They really believe that they are only half a person, and they will meet their twin flame, their other half, and then become whole. These people are literally an embarrassment to human intelligence. But that doesn't say much because humans are not that intelligent. I don't think there are enough words in the English language to find the right word for the stupidity that these people have, that actually believe they are only half a person, that actually believe that God created them half and set them out to go find their other half. Whatever I say about these people is just going to be judgmental, and because I like judging, let me not go down that path. Let's leave those people to their misery. Let's leave them looking for their twin flame for about 1 billion years, and after that, hopefully we would have found a way to just snuff them out of existence altogether. Now, let's go to soulmates. There is such a thing as a soulmate. However, it's not just one. That's the thing. We are in the universe. We are having fun, exploring, and we stumble upon Earth. We're interested in the games that are being played on Earth, and we say, wow, I could learn a lot there. And we start writing our life book, or our contract, or our blueprint, whatever you want to call it. And we say, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, and I'm interested in the other. So we write those things down, and we make plans of how we're going to be born, meaning where, and what kind of body type we're going to have, what kind of family, so that we can experience what we want to learn from. Then, because the first law in the universe is like attracts like, while we are working on our life book, we are automatically attracted to other souls that have the same kind of interests as we do. And because we have similar interests, we have a lot to talk about. And we become friends. And we say, hey, why don't we meet in this crazy game? And we create groups. And if we do speak a language in the universe, we call these groups soul groups. They could be from 100 to, 10,000 different souls. And then when we are here on Earth and we meet one of those people within this group, within our group, we feel like we've known them forever. And we can call it a soulmate. And we won't be that far from the truth. The only thing we get mixed up with the soulmate situation is that we believe that there is only one soulmate. And that is also the source of a lot of our suffering. Because we believe a soulmate should make us happy 24/7, should cater to our every whim and our every need, and should pretend they care all the time, no matter how crazy and schizophrenic we are. It doesn't matter if I don't make sense with what I'm saying. You're my soulmate. And then when we see these things don't happen, we start being miserable because we're thinking, do you think maybe he or she is not my soulmate? But if we can understand that they are simply one of our many soulmates, then we would not be so devastated when things don't work out the Hollywood way. Now, a lot of people say, I'm so lucky I've met 2 soulmates in my life, or 3 soulmates in my life. Let me tell you, if someone is not from the same soul group as you, you won't have that much in common. So it is perfectly normal to meet 2, 3, 4, even 10 and 15 soulmates and have very good relationships with all of them. See, what ruins our relationships is our myth that they are forever. And this blocks us from taking everything we can from this person, meaning everything this person has to give us. Whether it's what people call love, whether it's attention, whether it is focus, whether it is companionship, whether it is lessons. We can take so much from relationships, grow, and then move on. But we're not focused on growing within a relationship. We spend about 80% of our time in a relationship trying to keep it, trying to hold on to it. And we don't learn because our focus is not on us. It's on the union, keeping the union. So many people will say, we know each other for 7 years now. Yes, and? We didn't just meet, there's something here. You're not making any sense. What does time have to do with it? You see, we focus on trying to keep it as many years as possible to justify being in it. Or we say, I can't break up now. We've been together for 10 years. That's like saying, I've had cancer for 10 years. I can't get better now. What are you talking about? But that's how you sound when you say silly phrases like that. Be with one of your soulmates for as long as there is magic, for as long as this other person turns you on. And then say, nice knowing you, but I've got to move on now. And then move on. Back to the soulmates. What else can we say about the soulmates? Nothing. I think if we just keep in mind that we have many soulmates, life will become so much easier. Now, also, just because someone is from the same soul group does not mean that everything will be hunky-dory, that everything will always be roses. It does not mean that at all, because you don't know what kind of agreement you made with this person. You might have said to this person, listen, I have this and this issue. Would you come and play the opposite role for me to force me to deal with my issues? For instance, a lot of people have an issue if someone is not paying attention to them, as we said, 24/7. You would ask someone to come that you would, so as we say, fall in love with, and then this person not paying you attention 24/7 so that you can deal with it. And you're blaming the person. But the thing is, you asked their soul to come and play this role so that you can deal with your issues, because you see, issues keep the soul from coming in, or keep more soul from coming into the body. And then your soul cannot express in this dimension. Let me repeat this. And then your soul cannot fully express in this dimension and feels like a zombie. But your soul wants to be fully aware here on earth, here in this body. And our issues stop it from coming in. So we want to deal with these issues. And we ask these people to play this role. And this is someone we would call, he doesn't love me. It's not that he doesn't love you or she doesn't love you. You ask them to play this role so that you can overcome something. So next time your partner or your so-called soulmate is not doing what you want them to do, ask yourself, How does this make me feel? I wonder if this is a blockage of mine that would help me if I released it. And this person is simply showing it to me. Now, we will detour for one moment. A lot of people insist that we should have relationships because they are mirrors to what we don't like about us so that we can work on them. I don't disagree with this. However, I've worked on most of my issues, not all, most of them, without ever having a relationship. I just look in the mirror and ask questions. That's all. The minute something bothers me, I ask a question. Why is this bothering me? Why does this make me so angry? So, yes, a relationship can force you to look in, but it's not necessary. Personally, but this is my personal experience, I've never heard a soul say this to my client. Personally, I don't think they're worth the trouble, relationships, just so that I can clear my issues. I'd rather just ask the questions myself. Again, this was my personal bit of info. So if you want to be with someone simply because that's what you want. Don't try and find excuses like, I have to be with someone so I can clear my issues, or so I can be forced to find more of me. Because that's like saying to the universe, I shouldn't really be with this person, but I have to clear my issues. And how do you think this person's soul would feel? So don't do that. If you like someone, say, hey, I like him or her, and I'm going to stay with him for a while. And that's it. Never find excuses for what you do. Always be comfortable with what you're doing. No matter how silly. If it makes you feel good, really, it's not silly if it makes you feel good. But if it doesn't make you feel good, then you need to ask different questions. Then it is silly. If you have to convince yourself that you're with someone for this and this reason, then it is silly. Maybe you shouldn't be there. Let me mention another thing. We've heard this before from many, many psychologists. It is never the other person's fault. I don't think there is a truer phrase that has come out of psychology. Really, it is never, ever the other person's fault. It's always, you know what, it's over. You know what, we have nothing more to get from this person. But it's not their fault because we have nothing more to get. It's like blaming food after you are full, after you've eaten a lot. And then you blame food because you're not hungry anymore. That's exactly how silly it is when we blame the other person for not fulfilling us or for not doing what we want them to do. It is over. You got what you needed to get. Let them go and move on. Let's see, soulmates. It's funny because I learn so much from my clients when they ask questions about relationships and their higher self answers. And then when I'm doing this, I can't remember them. Soulmates. I know there's more on soulmates. If you would like to attract the relationship, there's no need to say to the universe, I want to find a soulmate. You can also say, I want to find another person. Because if they are not part from the same if they are not a part of the same soul group as you, you would have nothing in common. So you probably would not attract one of those people anyway. You really wouldn't. You've got different energies. So whoever you do attract that you spend a lot of time with or that you like being with, know that they belong to the same group as you. But don't confuse this with we are meant to be together forever. Let me mention a little story. It might have nothing to do with this, but I do have people getting upset when I say this to them. it happens a lot to women. A woman is married, many years, children are either adults or almost adults. Someone else comes along, they fall madly in love with, and they leave their family and they try and build something with this new person. And what I usually see, not always, what I usually see in this situation is the other person has come simply to pull them out of their stagnation, of this role that they were playing in the family. They learned from it, it's done, and they wouldn't leave on their own. It's too comfortable. Even though they weren't that happy anymore, not that there was anything wrong with the children or the husband, but they had nothing more to give them. They learned whatever they needed to learn. And because they don't leave, the universe or your soul will send you someone else where you can fall head over heels in love with so that you can get out. And when I mention this to them, like, look, this person has come along simply to get you out of there. Enjoy him, but don't plan future and don't build your future dreams on this person. Enjoy them for now and come out of, as we said, I'm going to repeat this word, the stagnation that you were in, and start living again. And then when it's over, let this person go and you go on your own. And they get upset. And they get really upset. In a couple of times, they stood up and they walked out of the healing room, out of the office. A couple of other times it happened to, once it was a good friend and once it was a relative. They're not talking to me anymore. Because they feel really threatened that they left their family and this is only going to be a fling. And then after 1 or 2 or 3 years, they break up. They're still not talking to me. However, you could be a little less devastated when this happens when you know why. Sometimes your soul is sending you another man, sometimes younger, to pull you out of the vortex you were in. And his job is to simply pull you out. And once he's pulled you out completely, he's going to move on. Because this is what his job was. So, try and see it like this. Rather than say, this is for me now. This is my soulmate. This is the one I love. This is the first time I felt like this. And then a few years down the line, you are devastated again. Just see the bigger picture. And thank your soul for bringing someone like that to you, whom you can enjoy for 1 or 2 or 3 years. Okay. I don't think I have anything else on soulmates at the moment. So we are going to leave it at this.